We're just trying to follow the teachings of our Nabi Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam as closely as possible. I think I might be a little bit of part of the problem because I have a little bit of a standard myself when it comes to the restaurants that I review and stuff like that. I go into it with a sense of dignity that people will recognize me, that wherever I go I have to be the best version of myself, whether that's inside of the house or outside of the house.
Just give us maybe one or two hidden gems that you would want people to go visit. We have the privilege now of talking to Emad from Halal or Nothing. Emad, assalamu alaikum. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
So we are at the Halal Expo. What are you doing here?
Just here talking to different businesses, trying to learn a little bit more about the halal businesses here, especially in the GTA. Oftentimes I'm only working with restaurants, but there's so much more behind halal businesses and the name and brand of halal. So just here to learn a little bit more about those types of businesses and seeing where I can find synergy with the platform that I've created with the businesses that are here today.
What you say is very important. We've been speaking to people here at the Expo, we speak to some of the organizers, and they want to make sure that people know it's not just about halal food, but halal is a lot of things. It comes in finances, it comes the way you live your life. So it's really important that what you said.
Yeah, absolutely. I think without a doubt, we're just trying to follow the teachings of our Nabi Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam as closely as possible. Halal is not just what we consume in our body; it's how we present ourselves. It's how we kind of portray our actions, how we spend our money, how we treat other people. Halal is a big umbrella term, and we have to do our best as Muslims to make sure that we pay homage to our Nabi Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
So although we're talking about things other than food, I'm gonna bring it back to food for a moment.
No problem.
People in the GTA, they say, or people that visit the Toronto, GTA, Mississauga, they say that we're spoiled here with halal food, and the standard now is very high. I have a friend that owns a business that sells halal food. Because these people come in, they expect top of top stuff now, just because of how much there is in the city.
Yeah, and I think I might be a little bit of part of the problem because I have a little bit of a standard myself when it comes to the restaurants that I review and stuff like that. So I think it's really important to maintain that standard, maintain that quality, because quality goes a long way. If you have good quality food, you have good quality business, you have good quality business relationships, good quality business dealings, and all that kind of stuff. And it sort of has a domino effect with the people around them and the business that we've all kind of created here in the GTA especially. We are spoiled. I think the food here is absolutely amazing, but the people here that are running businesses like this are also doing a fantastic job as well. And I think that it's a little bit less of a forgiving market, especially here in Toronto and in Canada and stuff like that. So there's a little bit less of a margin of error, which also kind of attributes to the quality that we can kind of present with the food scene that we have.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a lot of diversity even in the food. I mean, anything you're looking for, you could find here in the city. I wanted to ask you, can you point out, you don't have to name obviously any specific restaurants or names of people, but any kind of funny or unique story that comes to mind, in your blogging?
Nothing, honestly. It's just nothing positive, I would say. I think other than the fact that the impact of the videos has been so great, alhamdulillah. People saying that the videos have created such a big domino effect, crashing POS systems, which is bad and good, because of how many people came in from a specific video and whatnot. So I think it just goes to show how much of an impact having somebody like me come and do videos for you and do a restaurant review, because I have some sort of a personality and a brand, and how beneficial it could be to so many different halal businesses and whatnot. But I would say just in terms of just stories and whatnot, just very typical all across the board is just flooding people and making people very, very busy in the restaurant, which is something that I like to do, and to get people busy.
So people know you, know who you are, and know your Instagram and your social media. How did it feel the first time that you were walking through and people started recognizing you?
Alhamdulillah, I think you do have, I'm not gonna lie, you are an influencer, you have platform, you do influence people look up to you, you're in that position, and Allah has given that amana to me, and He's entrusted me with having some sort of a platform and where people come up to me and they look up to me and stuff like that. So I go into it with a sense of dignity that people will recognize me, that wherever I go I have to be the best version of myself, whether that's inside of the house or outside of the house too, right? So when I got recognized for the first time, I didn't really bat too much of an eye. I'm just being myself, and I'm just being being the best version of myself that I could be, the best Muslim that I can be, and the version that you get outside of Halal or Nothing is the same version that of myself that you're going to get, with my family or with Halal or Nothing.
Yeah. So the next question was going to be kind of the responsibility that you might feel, but you kind of already answered that. So my last question for you is just give us maybe one or two hidden gems that you would want people to go visit, that you kind of turn to in your go-to kind of.
That's a really funny question because everybody always asks me for recommendations, and the more and more I do this business and the more I go out to different restaurants and eat more food, the harder and harder it gets to recommend a place, and that goes to show how great the quality of the food scene is over here. But there are a few that I like to go to, like some go-tos. One, if I'm going to a little bit more of like an upscale restaurant, Arbakina restaurant. Shout out to Chef Moeen, who's doing an absolutely amazing job bringing stuff from farm to table in an absolutely fresh and healthy way. It's a little bit of an upscale Levantine experience, which I find is absolutely amazing. You don't really find that in Toronto, doing upscale, more fine dining-ish vibes. And then also my go-to, just to kind of keep healthy and keep it, good tasting, is naan kebab. We have a lot of Afghan food here. We have a lot of Afghans here in the GTA, and there's not a lot of Afghan food in other major cities in North America, I would say. So Afghan food is something that Toronto does really, really well, and my go-to is naan kebab.
Ahmed, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it.
Jazakallah khair for having me.